Paradise World Videos. We're in Costa Blanca today, and if you're ever thinking of retiring in Spain, well, we're going to go through everything from the taxes and the benefits and the cost of living and whether it's worth you making the move or not. So we're going to be taking a walk around this Torrevieja city on the Costa Blanca. Great location for the Brits, of course. It's an expat community as well as other nationalities. We'll take a walk around and we'll tell you the benefits of retiring here in Spain and how much you expected to tax if you're thinking of coming when you've actually retired. So when it comes to moving to Spain and making that big decision on retirement, and a lot of people are doing it for different reasons, of course. Some people just want a better life and finish the rest of their lives nice and luxury, nice culture, and have a healthier living. And your money is obviously going to go a lot further because, as we're going to talk today in the video, the cost of living in Spain is a lot cheaper on a lot of different levels. And we're not just talking about the property, we're talking about everything basically, even menus of the day. And a lot of people are making this move right now on the non-lucrative visa, which the non-lucrative visa is mainly the retirement visa people tend to come here on. It's the visa where you've got the passive income, which we're going to talk about as well. The kind of taxes you're expected to pay on your English pension when you actually live in Spain, and how money is going to stretch you. Well, for starters, we're going to be talking about everything from the cost of living is a lot cheaper. We've already gone through lots of videos of that where we talk about the food in the supermarkets, if you stick to local brands and things like that, and your fruit and veg at the markets is a lot cheaper. But as you know, the Spanish culture is all about outdoor al fresco dining, and that is where your cost of living becomes really cheap because not many people actually cook or eat at home. Because of the great weather, they tend to take nice walks about and stop at these bars because you can get some great menus, as we're going to show you today. Menus of the day, and we're talking about silly prices for a 3-course meal and a drink. And we're up on the front here. We're at the Keeper's Bar, which is one of the popular bars here on the Playa de Cura beach on the Costa Blanca. And this is their menu of the day. Of course, it's summertime, so they might rake it up a bit. So we've got €14.50. That will come with a starter, and then you've got your main and then your dessert. But up here for $14.50, they're not including drinks, but generally a wine on the seafront is around about €2.50, and beer could be around €3. But once you start going around the back of the streets and the tapas bars and a real part of Spain, that's where you're going to get your real deals and the menus of the day, which will include drinks as well. But we're going to go through the reasons why you want to move to Spain when you're retired. And of course, the big reason, and it is what everyone's coming here for, is for the weather and to make your money stretch further. So we're going to talk about now how your UK pension is taxed in Spain. So this is when you actually got your visa, of course, your non-lucrative visa, and you've actually come here to Spain and you bought your property. Of course, then you've only got to worry about one thing: what kind of taxes you're going to be paying on your income. Well, whatever income you get in Spain, you're going to be paying all kind of prices on your tax. Most pensioners will be on when they come here. They probably have no other income, only that they've got the state pension. And basically, if you're not earning no money and you're not earning no other income and you're not above the threshold, your Spanish pension won't be taxed. Of course, you've all come here to retire, so you won't be earning any extra money. So what will be the tax you'll pay if you become a Spanish resident? Of course, once you're in Spain more than 183 days and you've resided in Spain, that is your place of paying your tax. And of course, determining what type of pension you have as well will determine what type of tax you'll be paying. Of course, people might have private pensions as well, which might go over the threshold. Like I mentioned, it all determines on what pension you have, whether you're under the UK Spanish double taxation agreement, the DTA. Pensions are categorised as either private or public, and UK state pensions and private pensions, which includes the workplace pensions and personal pensions. And it's all subject to the Spanish personal income tax rates, and that is what we'll be going through today. So basically, the pension income will be just classed like any other income coming in, and it all depends on whether you go over the minimum amount before you are going to be taxed. Of course, money, like I say, goes a lot further here. Before COVID and before Brexit, it went even further with the menus of the day. But it's still cheap, and it's still good weather, and it's still the place to come. And not only is it cheap on everything else, when it comes to buying property, there's a lot of things to consider. And of course, the pension tax is the one. So this is what you're going to be paying. Anything up to 12,450, you're going to be paying 19%. And it's going to be 24% income if it's above 12,451 to 20,200. And then it just keeps going up, because it's going to be 30% if you're above the 20,200 to up to the bracket of 35,200, and then 37,000 from 35,000 up to 60,000, and then 45% if you're in a 60,000 bracket up to 300,000. And if you're in that bracket, you've got loads of money and you can afford to pay loads of tax. But then of course it goes to 47% if you're above the 300,000 bracket. So what does this all mean really for the normal person coming in to retire on the UK state pension? It means that if your UK state pension is your only source of income and remains below the tax-free threshold, you may not have to fill in a tax return. However, any additional income, such as rental earnings or private pensions, you're going to be pushing into the higher bracket, as we just discussed. And it's also important to note that in Spain, tax rates due to the way of the autonomous communities, so each area you live in might have kind of different tax brackets. Of course, in the Valencia community, they are the top earners, so you'll be paying the top tax. So tax allowance for pensioners do exist here in Spain, and they are age-related allowances that help reduce the overall tax burden for retirees making that big move here in Spain. So the actual personal allowance for anyone over 65 or older, then your tax-free personal allowance reducing your taxable income. An additional, again, for allowances over 75, you receive an extra deduction, further lowering your tax liability. Same again, that'll change depending on what area of Spain you're going to be in. Basically, you're going to have to do a tax return every year if you're going to exceed the Spanish threshold here in Spain. And this is all done with your personal income. That's between April and June each year. It's the Modelo 720 declaration. And then if you hold over 50,000 assets then abroad, or bank accounts, pension investments, property, you have to declare them to the Spanish tax authorities. If you're doing bank transfers and things like that, or withholding the tax from the UK banks, and you don't declare these kind of pensions, then obviously you're not complying with the Spanish tax rules, and you're likely to get a hefty fine. So in a nutshell, your tax rate is between 19% and up to 47%. And of course, if you are moving over from England, a lot of people, I've mentioned it and they've all joined it on my link in description, Currency Direct. What they're doing is they're waiting till the rate's really good and they're transferring it, so they're getting more for their money. The link's below in the description, just click on it and you'll get a call back and they'll explain everything for you, and you can have a lot more money here in Spain, especially if you're living here. So it's a no-brainer, isn't it? That's why a lot of people are already doing that already. They're getting their money transferred at the right time, and of course the money's going a lot further. And that is why we're all in Spain, isn't it? It ain't just because of the beautiful weather and because of all the outdoor living and the fates and the cultures and all the entertainment going on. And of course, you'll have to worry about winter heating bills here as well. By the way, if you do get any heating allowance as well, of course, none of that's taxable. That doesn't even come into the tax, so that is a good thing. But here in Spain, of course, the only thing you get going here is the aircon in the summer months to cool down. Right up by the harbour where the new project is, of course, you've got all these little restaurants up here. You've got the big culture centre here, the casino, really old building. But this is the sort of prices you get for their menu here. Decent bit of fish and chips there, look at that, €14. Of course, this is right on the front, so you're paying a bit of a premium price. But I can mention, menus of the day now, they're averaging around about €12. You might get lucky with €10. 3 courses with a drink. Afters, starter, main. Unbelievable, isn't it? So if you're coming to make that move in Spain, it's really important to do your own work really. Find out how much money you've got in your pot, and then when you've decided how much you've got, get on that currency direct, transfer it over into euros at the right time of course, so you have more money, and then you can pick your location where you want to be. Of course, you don't want to be stuck inland, because I've been to a lot of these places and there are ghost towns, especially in the winter months. If you want it nice and quiet like a ghost town, you might as well stay in England and just shut all the doors. But yeah, you need to be going somewhere it's a bit lively, communities, and a lot of these places in Spain have communities. So when you come to decide where you want to live, for instance, here in Torrevieja, you probably can still hunt around for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, around about 75,000 euros. Of course, it's a big, bustling city here, mixed nationality, and Spain being over 94 million visitors every year, it is definitely the place you do need to retire to. If you do pick yourself a nice cheap apartment here for that kind of money, and it's not on a herb, you ain't going to be paying no urbanisation fees. And you ain't going to be paying for upkeep of pools and anything like that. So you've got to bear in mind when you buy it how much the urbanisation fees, because you've got to pay that every year. But look at these prices here, look. €9.90, Matt's Burger, steaks. But as we go along, this is the Spanish life. People just chilling out. And it doesn't mean you're alcoholic. We don't sit and drink all day. You take it at a slower pace. And that is what's good about it. You get away from the hustle bustle, the rain, the wind, the ice and snow, traffic, stress, people's problems, and you sit here and you just watch the world go by, because there's hundreds of tapas bars. This is a city, by the way, Torrevieja city. But a lot of people maybe move further along the coast, Orihuela, but all along this part of Spain, there are a lot of communities where you can meet lots of people, so you won't be lonesome. They have all clubs, the bingo, the dance, pool, petankas, bowling. You know, there's so much to do here. There's coach trips that'll take you around and visit most parts of Spain. And the beauty of it is, if you're in Spain, you can hop on one of these planes here, Welling, and be over to Ibiza for like 19 euros return. It's on crazy prices. Because you're already in Spain, you can travel north, south, and visit the whole of Spain. So when you make the move, you've got to really decide what you want, what your budget is. And if you just want a nice little bungalow, there are bungalows about, like I say, just over 120, 130 grand dotted about. You can find these little properties. Of course, as you know, a lot of people have already got it booked up, but if you are coming over and you do need help and you are retiring or you need a visa done, just let me know. We'll put you in touch with a solicitor. Trusted solicitor, of course, is a professional lawyer. Well, it's very important when you buy in Spain, you do get a professional lawyer, because there's many solicitors here that are not real solicitors I've mentioned. With the professional lawyer, he's part of the Lawyer Association and he's got the card, he pays into the system, he gets the latest updates. So when I had a couple here not long ago who was going to the embassy to sort their visa out, he says, them days are gone, he sorts all that out for you. So if you come over and you're thinking of making that dream, whether it's a self-employed visa or a retirement, whatever it is, we can drop you in to see Alfred mention, or you can just send him an email in the description, mention Paradise World Videos, tell him you're thinking of getting a visa, he'll sort that out for you. And we've got connections, trusted people that will sort your property out as well. So yeah, it's not difficult now. It's the world is a lot easier to operate now. We've got internet and phones and everything else. So yeah, it's very important. It's a big decision moving, especially with families as well, with schools. You've got to remember schools are off for 12 weeks here. And if you've got a job here, you've got to find some way of entertainment within 12 weeks, summer camps or things like that. It's not like the UK. It's all relaxed life here. As you see, we're creeped up 2 o'clock, and this is how relaxed it is. It's coming really quiet once you get around the back streets, because it's that time of day where they have a little sleep and the shop's shut for 2 hours. Even though a lot of the shops will be closed, but the bars and restaurants, a lot of them will be open because it's tourist time, August. So what has really changed since Brexit in Spain? Not a lot really. I'll tell you what, apart from you can't stay too long, which you weren't really supposed to before, to be truthful, except the Spanish turned a blind eye, so did Europe, because we was in the EU. But since then, they've, as you know, clamped down. We've got the new thing coming out, the 12th of October, the EES registration thing. Of course, you don't have to do anything. It's when you turn up into the airports, you'll be fingerprint taken, facial recognition. There'll be all these booths that you'll be doing all this in. It'll be taking all your information and it'll all be recorded up to 3 years. And why this information is recorded is telling them who's coming in the country, who's going out the country, and most importantly, who's overstaying. Because they won't be stamping in passports anymore, because they won't have no need to stamp passports, because everything's recorded on these machines. So that is when they'll be able to know who's overstaying. Of course, this is a 6-month thing, and then it officially starts in April. And then we have the ETIAS coming out as well, June next year. That is like a visa you've got to pay for. It was going to be 7, as you know, it's tripled to 20. But if you come and live in Spain, become a resident, you ain't got to worry about all that. You can go to England as long as you like, and you can stay as long as you like. You see, as we go around the back streets, Torrevieja, it's just lots and lots of tapas bars, because it's very Spanishy place, as you know, even though it's got mixed people living here. But yeah, lots of different nationalities and lots of different eating places as well. We've got Colombian places, Indian, Mexican, Chinese, Thai, basically, apart from the Spanish and the Bulgarian restaurants, you've got Lithuanian restaurants. Listen, you've got good choice of restaurants, literally, from around the world. So what you've got to think about when you come to Spain, what is the actual cost of living? I've always mentioned that, you know, eating out is cheap, but the cost of living all depends on your lifestyle, of course. If you've bought a place, of course, you won't have anything to worry about rent, because renting has gone through the roof, as with the properties here in Spain. And at one time you can get a nice cheap rent for 250 a month. Now it's more like 550, 600 for a cheap place to rent for a month for a couple of bedrooms and a bathroom now. But yeah, it's all shooting up. So, but if you bought a property, you ain't got to worry about that expense. You've got your electric, which we mentioned. It all depends really what appliances you've got. If you've not got anything gas in your house and everything's electric, your electric bill can be anything from €100 to €70. And it all depends, of course, what time of year and what side of the road you're on. Because I do live on the cold side, and we use our aircon for heating, warm up, only in the bedroom at night, or if we're in the front room. But if you're on the south side of the road, of course, your house is cooking all year round. So you might use the aircon, or you might just go out and about and visit one of these places in Spain, or go out on one of these trains and tour the area. But yeah, seriously, your cost of living, it depends on yourself. If you want to go on a coach trip once a month and visit these places where they do coach trips all over the place, depends if you join a golf society in one of these bars, because golf here in Spain ain't cheap, not as cheap as the UK. You're talking about 70, 80 euros a round of golf, and then you've got your drinks after. So that is if you're part of a golf society in one of these bars, of course. So yeah, it all depends, like I say, whether you go out 2 or 3 times a week, whether you go out for a meal. Like I say, we live here in Spain, we're not on holiday. So when you live in Spain, it's not like when you're on holiday, you do things a lot different, like you would at home. And you've got to watch your pennies as well. So we'll go out once a week or once a fortnight, and then you'd have a little drink, or you might pop to the bar one day, or you might be out in one of these towns and sit and chill out and have a drink, or a little bit of tapas. And that's what a lot of people tend to do. So yeah, and of course it's not expensive, like I say. Menus of the day are pretty cheap, and you get the drink as well. And I know in the UK and other countries, you could be paying fortunes just for your drink, so you get that chucked in. So your cost of living, really, no rent, you're just paying your electric, which is around about 80 to 100 euros a month. Your water, same again, a quarter. That's if you've got a pool, of course. If you ain't got a swimming pool, you ain't got to worry about maintaining it and tablets and all that. And your water bill might even be less than 100 euros as well, because you won't have to top up the pool. You might have a car, of course, because you want to get by. And if you bought the car already, because again, that all depends on whether you spend 20,000 on a car, 40,000, or a used car for around about 10,000. I highly recommend that you buy a new car here in Spain, because these used cars have already been absolutely knackered, around about 300,000 on the clock, and they're asking for stupid money. So yeah, buy your new car, buy your house, then you know how much you're going to pay to live here in Spain. Like I say, your food bill from the supermarkets depends on basic food and luxuries and all things like that. And so yeah, stick to the basic fruit and veg and your milk and your breakfast cereals. You know, 2 people ain't going to cost you a lot. I mean, we'll go in and do a bag of shopping for €100. That'll last us a week and a half. You'll have your meal out, like I say, that'll cost you €40, maybe 50, depends how many wines the wife has, of course. Your car insurance here is not too bad. Like I mentioned many times, in Spain, they put in the recovery with it, the breakdown you don't pay for. So you get a breakdown cover in with your insurance. And your car tax here is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we were paying 50 at one time for an old car. Now we've got an hybrid, of course. We're paying €36 a year. Wow, I was happy with €50, but €36 a year is great. There are toll roads about, but you don't have to use them. Sometimes you just pointless paying €5-6 to go down a toll road. It'd take the same amount of time on a normal road. So you might have to put a little bit aside, of course, for maintenance, in case you need to do a service on the car, tyres and, you know, basic things. You know, all them kind of things, you might want to put a few quid in a little jar for maintenance. But other than that, car insurance $350, yeah, your tax say 50 max, you know, and that's it, done. That's your car sorted out for the year. And then your petrol's pretty much the same as in the UK, might be a few cents cheaper. You've got to shop around. And like I mentioned as well, if you are on an urbanisation, of course, you're going to be paying anything from 200 up to 1,000 a year for being on that urbanisation. But you don't need to buy an urbanisation. You can just buy your house and pay your normal taxes, sumas to the government for your dustbins and police and all that, around about €220 a year. So your lifestyle, your culture, your spending budgets is all down to you really. But as I mentioned, the cost of living is cheaper. You've just heard the prices, a lot cheaper, and it's outdoor living. You're not sitting in a house with the heating on. You're out, you're walking, you're chilling. I don't know if there's any pensioners that have just done the visa, the non-lucrative, or anyone that's applied for it. Let us know how long the process took. Like I mentioned, we can do it really quick with an expert lawyer, so you don't have to go through the long-winded and you don't make no mistakes, because people try and do it themselves. And when you try and do it yourself, sometimes it costs more and takes double the time, because they do want it translated in Spanish. And if someone's doing a job all the time, like someone fixing your car, they're expert and they're really good at it. And that's why you need the proper people. Don't go cheap. And remember, I've mentioned in other videos as well, important, very important. If you're coming out here and you've got a partner, married, no matter what, get that will done. You have to get a will. And we're talking about your English will equivalent to the Spanish, because you'll have problems with your bank account if one of you's pass or whatever. So yeah, I've done a video of that as well. They're really important. Listen, all this, if you need any help, just send me an email in the description, paradiseworldvideos@hotmail.com, and we can sort it out for you and you can come and live the dream. And I know a lot of you's already come here, moved here, planning to move here, and let us know what you think. Where would you recommend the best places? Because there's lots of beautiful places in Spain. But of course, this part of Spain on the coast where everyone wants to be. And of course, it's the warmest and it's family friendly. See, all these tapas bars right along here. The big Mercadona here. And then we've got the main bus station, the tobacconist, your butchers here. Literally got everything in this town. So your Spanish budget or your lifestyle in Spain all depends on your requirements. Like I say, there are houses, 3 bed, 2 bath, with a pool. But we've just got these people from North Carolina, Iro and Eva. They've moved in as quick as 4 weeks. That's how quick it is in Spain. Yeah, got a pool as well. 3 bed, 2 bath, with a pool. So that is the sort of prices you're paying in euros, of course. So when you do change your money out with Currency Direct, you will find out you'll get a lot more money when you change it into euros and go a lot further. And yeah, busy little place here, Torrevieja. Of course, you've got the courthouse here and you've got the civil guard. You've got 3 police forces here in Spain. As I mentioned, the civil police, the national and the local police. And they're always floating around. And it is pretty safe here, I'll tell you what. It's not like other parts of Spain. It is the place everyone wants to move to, because you're on top of everything, local markets every week. Now this place comes to life at night. You've got all this going on here. All little restaurants and music jazzing away. Yeah, proper lively. So much to do. And look, there's no stress. Just walking around with my shorts and t-shirt on most of the time, all year round. Living the dream. And you can come and live the dream and all. There you go, see these prices here. Crazy, aren't they? This is like a little fairground. Comes to life. So that is the video today. Your taxes, your pensions, your visas, the cost of living in Spain. And before I go, big thank you for the coffees from Maggie, John and Mark, and a super thanks. And a new member, of course, Baycast, new member that's joined. And of course, being a new member, you see all the videos before they go out. And they're stacking up at the moment. So yeah, thank you for everyone. And if you do need any help, remember in the description, we can help you with everything you need. Visas, information, or looking for that ideal property. But yeah, Friday afternoon, Viernes, and it's adios amigo. It's goodbye, friend.